Okay. Um, Mamaji, you want to start with reading How to Love God?
Yes,
And we please go ahead, Jai Baba.
Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. How to love God. To love God in the most practical way is to love our fellow beings. If we feel for others in the same way as we feel for our own dear ones, we love God. If instead of seeing faults in others, we look within ourselves, we are loving God. If instead of robbing others to help ourselves, we rob ourselves to help others, we are loving God. If we suffer in the suffering of others and feel happy in the happiness of others, we are loving God. If instead of worrying over our own misfortunes, we think of ourselves more fortunate than many, many others, we are loving God. If we endure our lot with patience and contentment, accepting it as His will, we are loving God. If we understand and feel that the greatest act of devotion and worship to God is not to hurt or harm any of His beings, we are loving God. To love God as He ought to be loved, we must live for God and die for God, knowing that the goal of all life is to love God and find Him as our own self. Jai Baba.
Finding Him, our innermost loving selves. Yes. Jai Baba, thank you very much. So, today we start a new journey, a new book, and that's always exciting. It's like getting into a new year in school or taking up something exciting in class. So it's I'm having the same excitement today as we start a new book. Title of the book is Avatar of the Age, Meher Baba Manifesting. It's by Bhau, and let's read the front matter of the text. I'll keep going for some time, and then we can all rotate the reading as well. Um, so it has it's published by Manifestation Inc. It says, and the dedication is this is dedicated to the ever manifest who appears unmanifest due to the veil of our ignorance. Beautiful. This is dedicated to the ever manifest who appears unmanifest due to the veil of our ignorance. Right? Let's see the acknowledgements. It was Meher Baba himself who instructed me to write about his manifestation. He gave me the few points titled The Seven Doors, which led to my inspiration for what I have written in this book. Meher Baba is God incarnate, the avatar of the age, and he is manifesting his divinity, hence the title Avatar of the Age, Meher Baba Manifesting. Meher Baba gave me instructions to write about his manifestation just a week before he dropped his mortal body to live henceforth as immortal divinity. He is my master, my beloved, my light, and my God. He must be acknowledged foremost, for he is the source of everything contained in this book. Meher Baba asked me to write, and he made me write. To acknowledge what is his purpose here, I must say it is his work. I can only bow down at his feet. If I remain bowed until the time comes when myself is annihilated, I will know then that I did acknowledge his help. He has revealed to me what I should write about his work, his silence, and his manifestation. This book is a sign that he is now manifesting and that he longs for his lovers to know this and to experience this. I salute the love of all those who believe in this manifestation and who are trying to lose themselves in the service and love of the beloved. My gratitude salutes the love of those dedicated to his divine cause who have helped me in this work for him so I could fulfill my duty to Baba. Eric Nadal and David Fenster urged me to finish my writing about the manifestation. They were among the first to question me in detail about Baba's manifestation, and David typed my first articles. Janet Judson transcribed several hours of my talks from tapes when I could find no time to write. Meredith Klein also typed a number of the later articles. Heather Nuttall organized and typed the first draft of the manuscript and prepared it for publication. Lawrence Reiter organized the final manuscript for publication and did the final editing with the close assistance of Lynott. The design of the book was also done by Lawrence, and Marsha Foreman contributed to the design of the text. Deed Eaton, John Dennison, and Nancy Wurzel contributed to the final copy editing and proofreading. Marsha Foreman and Judy Gregory typeset the book. Chris Roth contributed to the final renderings of the charts used in the book, which I originally drew. Special thanks to Susan White for the drawing of Baba gesturing instructions to me. Appreciation and gratitude is expressed to the founders of Manifestation Incorporated, who have made it possible for my writings to reach the Western world. Finally, my salutations through tears of joy to all those who believe in the reality of Meher Baba's manifestation and long to experience divinity. Bhau Kalchuri. So pretty exciting. So, so the first four sections are before we start the chapters. So there's a essay on the invisible rider, beloved God, to my beloved, and Meher Baba's final declaration. Let's go in and start with that. Okay. So I will probably pause here and rotate the reading given I'm struggling with my throat. I will come back again if possible. Yeah. Anybody wants to read?
Oh, okay. Jay Baba. Is
Yeah.
my voice clear? I mean,
Yes, you are.
I
You
had
are
some
clear.
some trouble joining. I don't know what happened. Anyway, it's the technology. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jay.
Okay. Thank you. So Ashok ji, you can pick up the first section, invisible reader.
Yes, thank you. The invisible rider.
Rider, sorry.
Avatar is a Sanskrit word. Its literal meaning is one who comes down but also goes away or passes beyond. In Hinduism, Avatar signifies the coming down of God Himself to earth in bodily form. The man who is Avatar is a divine being, a perfect man, a divine incarnation. The Avatar is the pure embodiment and bodily manifestation of the invisible, imperceptible, and formless God. Wow. Can I read this again, if you don't mind? This line. The,
Sure.
the Avatar is the pure embodiment and bodily manifestation of the invisible, imperceptible, and formless God. The mystery is that though the body of the avatar, impersonal, formless God, becomes visible, perceptible, and personal, The avatar is known.
So, so just repeat that line. The mystery is that through the body of the avatar, impersonal, formless God becomes visible, perceptible, and personal.
Absolutely. I'll read it
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
The mystery is that through the body of the avatar, impersonal, formless God becomes visible, perceptible, and personal. Uh, the avatar is known in Vedanta as the incarnation of Vishnu, the preserver of creation and all of life. In Sanskrit, Vishnu means he who pervades. Vishnu in the abstract formlessness. Vishnu in the abstract formlessness signifies the divine spirit either of the universe or of the man. This divine spirit, called by Vedantists Vishnu and called by Sufis Parvardigar, has been termed by Western philosophers the oversoul. In this sense, when Vishnu is incarnate as Avatar, he represents the oversoul of all creation and the soul of man. In Meher Baba's words, this perfect state is the soul of souls.
So if I can pause you here, let's understand this concept a little more. The soul of souls here is a reference to the Parvardigar prayer, which we'll just quickly, I'm sure all of us know it. I'm just showing you the reference. Yeah, here it is, right? So you are the soul of souls, the one with infinite attributes. That's the reference to the soul of souls in quotes here. Now, what is oversoul and what is uh, is oversoul beyond God or beyond God?
It would
Anybody?
be both, I think. I think beyond God and also beyond.
Paramatma.
Because
Soul
I,
okay,
this is a
So
Baba.
metaphor.
I think, yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Kama, go ahead.
Oversoul is Paramatma, drop soul is all of us, basically. So, oversoul is another term for Paramatma, Allah, God, you know, from a philosophical point of view or metaphysical point of view.
Correct. It's seen just in the dimension of one and many. So the same terms can be seen in multiple dimensions and multiple views, right? It's the same thing that you view it through different angles. The angle of the oversoul versus the soul is, like Kama said, just the Paramatma and Jivatma. So we are the Jivatma. The soul of souls is the Paramatma. And in this specifically, the term closest compared in all the various philosophies is oversoul, Parvardigar, as well as Vishnu, right? So I think let's continue. Shokji.
Yeah, I just also wanted to add that if you read the first three pages of God Speaks,
Mhm.
they have also distinguished between the soul and oversoul. I think the first page
Correct.
itself is there. So your question that whether this relates to beyond God or beyond God. So Parvardigar or Paramatma is the same in both. I mean in the beyond God and beyond state. So my understanding was it applies to both. Is that correct or is that wrong?
Uh, I think my question was wrong. Let's put it that way. Let's,
Okay.
as I said, from a view standpoint, you're seeing it as whether the one view or the many view. But in the beyond God and the beyond God and the other states of God, we are seeing a different perspective. We are seeing the different capabilities, attributes, and states of God. Whereas here, we are only seeing it from the individualization and the lack of individualization.
Okay. So there is a different perspective or context to.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So
Thank you.
it's like the six blind men and the elephant. I was trying to hold on to the leg and claim it looks like a pillar, and you are looking at it from another angle, right? So, I mean, rather, Bhau is looking at it only from the soul and over soul angle. So let's stick to that.
Okay, okay.
Please go ahead. Sorry,
I, I
I'll
start
mute.
from 1 second. Uh, I start from Vishnu is the body of the.
No, no, the soul in absolute terms.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. The soul, in absolute terms, is infinite, external. Sorry, the soul, in absolute terms, is infinite, eternal, and formless. The soul itself is unconditioned, but it passes through a sequential order of conditioned aspects of consciousness in the evolution of the universe, and as an individual human being in the collective consciousness of humanity. This motion of collective group consciousness or individualized universal consciousness is termed by the Vedantists the Jivatma, or by the Sufis the Insan. It is the same divine spirit which evolves from form to form or more internally through conscious awareness from an extraordinary condition to an involutionary condition. This motion of the
It's
propelling
not
of
extraordinary condition, evolutionary condition to involutionary condition. So let's read that line again, please. It is the same
yeah,
from,
I'll read it.
it is the same. Yeah.
It is the same divine spirit that evolves from form to form or more internally
Eternally.
through conscious awareness from an extraordinary condition. From,
Evolutionary,
sorry, sorry,
evolutionary. Yeah.
from an evolutionary condition to an involuntary, involutionary,
Involutionary.
involutionary
So,
condition.
both these terms are very linked to Baba's terms, right? So, in
Yes,
the evolution, the divine spirit moves from form to form. Then it continues in the involutionary state. Involution is Baba's term. Evolution is more accepted scientific term, right? So, so it's important that we read it and get that distinction.
yes, I'll
Thank
read
you.
it again. And sorry for the errors. I'm very
No, no,
sorry.
no, no problem. No problem. Please.
It is the same divine spirit that evolves from form to form or more internally through conscious awareness from an evolutionary condition to an involutionary condition. The motion of the propelling of consciousness throughout the universe is called a step of Vishnu, or in author's words, the push of the avatar. The universal push is the spiritual explanation of the transitions constantly taking place in nature and in the consciousness of man. Such a push has been described by Meher Baba for this age as mankind's transition from reason to intuition. Over the past ages, mankind has evolved from instinct to reason. Greater and greater consciousness is the outcome of this inner push by the avatar age after age. I take a pause. It's really um, profound what he has said in this paragraph in so many words. It's a lot, is the almost the summary of the God speaks.
Yes, correct. So let's go back to our chart. I'd like to go back to our chart if we all don't mind. Yeah, yeah. You had a comment. Please keep going. I'll just bring the chart up.
No, no, all I'm saying is that it is really power packed. Every word is power packed.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, the journey is through the planes, and as you come from the lower planes, you come into involution, and involution is from 1 through 6, finally leading to 7, which is the experience of bigger reality, right? So in another progression, you move from instinct, which is the animal instinct, to reasoning, to more sophistication of that reasoning, to intuition, right? So that's what is communicated. Let's continue.
Vishnu in the body of Avatar is the condition of God that can and does take any form as well, or at will, any form at will. When God descends upon earth, he not only takes a human body of a man, but he also has chosen to take all forms, to ensoul them, to grow up through them, and glorify himself in their perfection. Vishnu thus becomes and is the root of all sentient and insentient life, or in the Avatar's word, I become everyone and everything.
So again, please read this in the context of all Baba's words, and then it rings very, very loudly. So Baba has often said, I am everything and in everything, right? So what that means is it can take Vishnu, as he comes down as avatar, can and does take any form, and he can so it's basically sentient and insentient life, because now literally everything in the universe is beating with the heartbeat of the avatar when the avatar is in form. Let's continue.
In Hindu scriptures, Vishnu, through the voice of the Avatar, declares himself the maker and the unmaker of the universe, besides which there is no other. So there is the mention of creation and destruction, or we call that preserver, uh, creator, preserver, destroyer. So the preservation and destruction, unmaker. I'll read this again. In Hindu scriptures, Vishnu, through the voice of the Avatar, declares himself the maker and the unmaker of the universe, besides which there is no other. So he is the creator and the destroyer. Maker and unmaker would refer to that. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay. So this came to my mind. I just I'm just sharing my thoughts. In Meher Baba's words, I alone exist. Viewing the Godhead around the neck of the universal mind, creations are suspended as hangs a row of pearls on a string. In Meher Baba's words, I shall revitalize all religions and cults and bring them together one beads like beads on one string. If I may add, Karthik, with your permission,
Okay, I think let's just read that line again. So it's very nice visualization. If you think of what is being described visually, it's very powerful imagery. Viewing the Godhead, viewing the avatar as something that has a neck of the universal mind, around which creations are suspended as hangs a row of pearls on a string. And then he quotes Meher Baba, I shall revitalize all religions and cults and bring them together like beads on one string. On the neck of what? Of the universal mind. So it's a beautiful imagery. Go ahead with your comment, Darshan.
Yes. So, you know, uh, Mayor Baba is the boss, if I can say. I mean, this is my personal comment. So BOSS, beats on single string.
Wow, you're getting in the acronym game, huh?
Yes, yes, yes.
It just occurred to me.
I like it.
Uh,
I use this in
It's
my
it,
academia teaching. So, and it is very much mentioned here. The pearls of on a string and beads on one string. So, I mean, I'm delighted to read this. I mean, you know, it's power packed. The least I can say. In the soul of the avatar, all that is infinite consciousness becomes conscious of all that is of infinite unconsciousness. He is the God of God, and in his body, universal consciousness individualizes. Paramatma and Ishwar merge and unite for the purpose of universal activity or work. He is the life force, the vital air moving in all that moves. In Meherba's words, not a wave rolls without my will. He is which is he is that which is closer than our own breath. The stirring wind of the wind upon the ocean of God.
okay.
Uh,
So Paramatma and Ishwar. Now there are two more terms. We encountered Vishnu till now. Now there is Paramatma and there's Ishwar, and they are merging for the purpose of universal activity or work. Paramatma is beyond God, and Ishwar is manifest God, right? Merge and unite for the purpose of universal activity or work. And that's basically what the avatar does. So just pointing it out so that it's clearer. Yeah. Let's continue.
Karthik, can I add one more phrase, though not
Of
mentioned here?
course.
The uncaused cause. I mean, it's the it's a concept in which is used in while explaining the Bible or biblical, but he's the uncaused cause,
Yes.
the beginning of everything, or if you go into the cause and effect, so he's the beginning beyond the cause and effect or the uncaused cause.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what today's reading is inspiring a lot of thoughts on me. In the soul of the avatar, all that is of infinite consciousness becomes conscious of all that
No, no,
is.
no. You read that, right? You read that paragraph. We have to start from here.
uh,
He who.
Sorry,
Sorry.
he who pervades is not contained within the world, however, any more than the soul of man is within his body. Rather, the God become man contains the world within himself, like his like his image man. The physical body is suspended within an aura. The meaning of the soul is not so definitely that man has a soul, but rather that the soul has a human form. Viewing this beauty, universal mind is suspended within the halo of light that is the true body of the ocean god in the form of the avatar. Words fail when the soul feels that light. The mind only knows it is the ocean, it is the oceanic, the, the all pervading one. Hindu scriptures refer to the avatar as God.
I think
So
he,
any comments on this? Yeah. So I think this is very important.
Yeah.
What is said here is the encapsulation of the universal mind and the Paramatma in the body of the avatar is not a limitation, but it's just a representation. So he who pervades is not contained within the world. However, any more than the soul of a man is within his body. So can you say that my soul stops the moment my body ends? No, right? Soul is just using this body. Soul is everywhere. And that is the point he's making of the avatar as well. Very, very profound paragraph. Mamaji, I think you were also trying to point that out, right? Or
yes, yes, yes.
maybe you had.
We may read this once again so
Yes,
that
please.
how he has conceptualized
Very
the
beautifully.
imagery of infinite consciousness in the body
Yes.
and what is the purport of that. Okay.
Let,
I
let,
think
let,
we
let
can
me
read this once
let me
again.
read it. Let me read this paragraph. He who pervades is not contained within the world. However, any more than the soul of man is within his body. Rather, the God become man contains the world within himself. So the avatar basically contains the world within himself. Then there's a semicolon. Next thing. Like his image, man, the physical body is suspended within an aura. The meaning of the soul is not so definitively that man has a soul, but rather that the soul has a human form.
Yes, this
Be-
sentence is very,
Beautiful.
very giving clarity to the idea that soul is manifesting as a human body. Yeah.
Correct. Rather, not even manifesting, has
Uh,
linkage and corresponds to a human form, but it's actually all over.
it's all over.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, very beautiful. Viewing his beauty, universal mind is suspended within the halo of light that is the true body of the ocean god in the form of the avatar. So, Meher Baba, avatar, his body is actually universal mind suspended in that halo of light. Words fail when the soul feels that light. So, if a ordinary Jivatma sees that light, the mind only knows it is the ocean. That much we are able to connect. It is the oceanic, all pervading one. So I think from a language perspective, it's not very crystal clear, but I hope you all enjoy what is being described here and understand it clearly.
Yes.
If I may add, Karthik,
Yeah,
so we can just simply say that the the body is a costume in which the soul resides. Or I mean, the physical body is just a it's just one of the costumes. So you have many reincarnations. So you change the costumes or you change the body. So
Jai
the
Baba, body is the medium for consciousness of the soul to liberate itself. Nothing happens to the soul. Soul, self, spirit is the same with everybody, like a white movie screen. The consciousness is the movie, which is all we are doing, but it needs a medium. So the consciousness is basically, technically, is Mahachaitanya, super consciousness, but it's covered by sanskaras. So, in the human form, the human body is a medium for this consciousness to liberate itself. Hey, Baba.
Uh, uh, if I may add a few words on that, that refers to the individual soul as we are. But in the view of the at the level of the avatar, say the universal mind is always pervading in the whole area, uh, whereas we don't consciously are able to visualize that properly. But the advent of an avatar gives us the capability of visualizing this, because avatar manifests and then makes us realize, as here Bhau Kalchuri has clearly mentioned, that avatar or the advent of the avatar is necessary to make the other souls realize that the universal soul is always there and you are a part of that. You should become that. So that is the important message here. So, what is the role of avatar? Why avatar comes in a cycle, and then the progress of the different souls to realize that they are the part, or they are the oversoul itself. That is what strikes me here. Jai Baba.
Correct.
Jai,
Correct.
Jai
He's
Baba,
using.
Jai
Yeah.
Baba, the way I look at it is the avatar is like an antivirus provider, basically. So the avatar comes, let's say there is a manifestation, people recognize the avatar who has come. Slowly entropy happens and they forget. Again, mankind is got into Maya. So you need a new operating system. So Baba has come up with a new operating system where we have gone from the age of animal instinct to the age of analytical reasoning mind. Now this is the age of intuition, which is the cycle of cycles. So basically, to me, Baba is basically like the antivirus provider. He comes, cleanses it. He comes and shows you, because every time we see civilization is going through changes like a kaleidoscope. So for each time, 700 to 1400 years, when there is maximum, distortion, all this confusion, the avatar comes because that's how the divine game is played. Jai Baba.
Yes.
So let's stick to the paragraph. And I think the all that you said is also absolutely relevant, Kama. But from a paragraph standpoint, it's the nature. There are two. There's an analogy between the soul and the oversoul, and the role of the avatar. The analogy is the soul is having a temporary and non-real enclosure called the body, but it's all actually all pervasive. I'm talking Jivatma. In the same way, when the avatar arrives, he underlines that the fact that oversoul encompasses all of the creative universe. So please note, like his image man, the avatar or God is the in the image of man. The physical body is suspended within an aura. Okay. So, like I said, the idea that's being described is not very clear, but please understand that what is being conveyed is the comparison between soul and oversoul and the role and importance of a avataric advent.
Yeah, Baba. See, technically, there is no difference between soul and oversoul, except the volume.
Exactly.
Oversoul is the ocean, soul is the drop soul, like a raindrop. It's the consciousness of the soul. Let's be
Soul,
very clear. Let's not talk
yes.
soul anytime because nothing happens to the soul. It's the
Yeah.
consciousness of the soul that requires these kind of, inputs. Yeah,
Yes.
Baba.
Agree. Agreed.
And the desire comes from the soul or body actually. So when
Body.
we're talking about desire comes from the body, right? So
Yeah.
soul doesn't have any desires.
No.
Then yeah. So when the soul go from the one body to the next body, so that all his what I will say
Desires.
desires come means like from one birth to next birth, right? It comes means all his this one word in our
Consciousness
books.
is carrying samskaras from one birth to the other, basically.
Mental body.
Samskara.
Mental
Yes.
body. The mental body transports. Before Ashish was born, there were desires that Ashish carries today, and those
Mm,
desires came through the mental body of Ashish, which is continuous and all pervading. It came through, it was the mental body is the same before Ashish was born, will continue after Ashish's current form. But that
yeah,
carries
yeah.
those desires. but the expression of desires are
Yeah,
possible only with a body.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Better to use the word sanskara, as Kama was saying. Desires is maybe a part of
Yeah, yeah,
that of
correct. Exactly,
yeah.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Agree.
Jai Baba, I'll continue.
Please, please.
Uh, Hindu scriptures refer to the avatar as God coming forth out of his formlessness when virtue fails upon the earth. So this is important. The avatar comes. I'll read this line again. Hindu scriptures refer to the avatar as God coming forth out of his formlessness when virtue fails upon the earth. The failure is quite evident in today's world. God becomes man. God become man delivers his creation from the machinations of Maya and preserves it against premature self destruction. The author describes these machinations as a necessary evil. They are the world's unnatural sanskaric elements. Premature destructive forces are evident as there is tremendous imbalance in the forces of nature on earth. And this imbalance is also evident in the disturbed human mind. Karthik, may I add one comment?
Sure.
So we have gone through maybe 4 or 5 mass extinctions, and Baba also has said that um, there would be a time when 75% of the world um, gets destroyed or reinvented. So here, premature destructive forces are evident as there is tremendous imbalance in the forces of nature on earth, and this imbalance is also evident in the disturbed human mind. So this sort of foretells another mass extinction of all life in on earth. Would that be correct to infer from this?
It's a very forward-looking inference. That's not being suggested here, but I think yes, that's also part of the cycle of cycles, where destruction leads to large-scale elimination of people. But here, the author is only talking about the forces of Maya, and the occurrence of the advent is linked to virtue failing, right? So when virtue fails, and which the necessary evil of Maya will anyway work to ensure it reaches a point, and then the avatar comes. So it's like a cycle. That's
Yeah,
the para
agreed.
here. Yeah.
Simply said,
The next
that,
stage is what you're saying. Yes, that also is true.
and I have extrapolated mainly maybe to the future, the unknown future. Anyway,
You
so
are
this is
the ahead of the curve.
I'm just with everybody's permission. I'm just sharing my thoughts. Uh, anyway, pardon me, Baba, if I have extended. I really don't want to. Sanskaras are the key, the vital factor to understanding. The nature of life in the universe is definite and most intriguing. Every modification and specialization of bodily form and function testifies to changes taking place inwardly within the evolution or involution of consciousness. Life forms only seem to grow of themselves. This appearance of evolving development is part of the illusion which deceives the limited mind. What man calls growth is really the life forces expanding and extending themselves through forms for one purpose, to gain a greater degree of consciousness. Meher Baba has emphasized that life is illusory, a dream, a nothing, which exists. What exists is consciousness. I'll read it again. Meher Baba has emphasized that life is illusory, a dream, a nothing. What exists is consciousness. The force of all this consciousness of life forms expanding and extending through the universe is called by the author the Pasara.
Us. Yeah.
Pasara. Pasara. That is a Hindi or a
Yes.
Hindi term. Pasara means that you have actually,
Something that is expanding. Is that right, Sanjay ji?
yeah, it is something
Something.
expanding. It's
Yeah.
like when you you know, Pasara means you. It's used in normal colloquial language, like if you have clothes and if you have spread it all over. So it's basically uh, creating.
जो भी चीज जो फैलता जाता है, बढ़ता जाता है और
Pasara,
पसार.
Yeah,
pasara means
expands.
हाँ.
mess actually. In Marathi, pasara means mess.
Yes, correct, correct. Thanks, Ashish.
Yeah, expands. Yeah,
Expense.
the
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Maya expands. You know, the
Exactly.
story of a saint with a loincloth.
Yes.
Yeah, so it just keeps expanding. There is no end to it actually. The nothing also keep expanding, seeming to be
Perfect. Perfect.
seeming to be something. Jai Baba.
Excellent.
This expansion of the universe, the Pasara, must be how illusion sustains reality. This
Sorry.
want me to read it again?
I should mute. I'm sorry. I should mute. Yeah. No, no, no. I said
Yeah,
he
illusion that
says
sustains reality, right?
that comes from God speaks. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Bob, yeah, he's quoting that at the right way, at the right time. So
This expansion of the universe, the Pasara, must be how illusion sustains reality. This sustaining principle is the universal activity of the avatar, which unifies the interplay of sanskaras in the universe. This
one simple idea I'll add on this paragraph. So this justifies that all of the evolution and all of the growth in quotes that we see, the expansion, the pasara, everything is with only one purpose, and that is to increase the consciousness of the soul. And then after the increase of the consciousness of the soul, to move towards God realization. And that's so what we think as natural evolution, as growth, as changes, as everything that we see around us are actually motivated only by one purpose, and that is you have to move towards God realization, right? So the the idea that Charles Darwin missed is what is mentioned in that paragraph, right?
did I
It's
read the last line? I think I missed the last line.
no, you read it.
Sure.
Please repeat anyway if you want.
And this sustaining principle is the universal activity of the avatar, which unifies the interplay of sanskaras in the universe. This attention to the aspect of nature and the evolution of consciousness throughout the universe is only significant since Meher Baba does universal work or is universally active on every level of life, from stone to plant to insect, fish, bird, animal to man. That sorry, that all life forms have their own purpose or significance in the avatar's work is itself vital for understanding his being. If Meher Baba did not work on every level of life, he would not be avatar of God. His work and love would not be universal. That he has become everyone and everything, thereby giving an inward push in consciousness to every one of us and everything, is the true significance of his love and his work. God incarnates to express his love and compassion all of creation. That Meher Baba cares about marble, quartz, mangoes, the ants, the alligators, the chickens, the elephants, as well as man is significant. You highlighted that. You want to say something, Karthik?
No, no, I just liked the line, so that's all. Please keep going.
For man, the avatar has ultimate significance because in him lies the destiny of all humanity. In him is the grace of becoming or realizing God. The realization of self latent in each of us has to be the ultimate consciousness, ultimate consequence of the avatar's work. The author Bhau Kalchuri is among those rare persons on earth who are being prepared to achieve the ultimate destiny of man through the work of the avatar. Becoming realized, becoming realized and fulfilling the purpose of the soul's journey by having passed through all of evolution and involution to unite with God consciously is the profound significance behind this man's writings. This book is a disciple's fulfillment of duty to both God and his fellow man to be valued in relation to the ultimate significance of the avatar. The author emphasizes that intoxication is imminent with the avatar's manifestation. Divine wine is pouring forth during this avataric age. It is vital to our spiritual understanding that Meher Baba opened his wine shop before he dropped the body. According to the few points Meher Baba gave directly to Bhau about this, about the manifestation, there is now a hole open into the other world. Only those who have forgotten themselves in their divine intoxication will find that hole and pass through it. That a hole has been cut in the door between the gross and subtle worlds for us is the true significance of the Avatar's work on earth. For through that hole there unfolds the path in God Himself, unfolds the path to God Himself. Karthik, I have a comment. So, can we compare this hole to the plane 4, where you can get intoxicated or you can move to the plane 5, 6, and beyond?
No, 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 no. It's very, it's more simpler than that. It's a whole here. आप जीरो में हो, आपका डोर खुल गया. Uh, through that hole, you can go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay,
So
okay.
so if you are intoxicated, you can see the hole. That's what he's saying. Let me show you that. So only those who have forgotten themselves in their divine intoxication will find that hole and pass through it. The hole is there.
Uh,
Baba's opened the
yes,
hole.
you go back to the chart. I show you.
Yeah, there is a gap. I saw that
Yes,
here.
these interrupted lines which are moving from that point in zero towards the top, and that
Yes,
movement is clearly shown how it is moving, and it may
correct.
be slightly different for different people, and how we progress. That path is so that whole you can imagine that yes, yes, yes is marked,
Yeah,
no?
individual soul.
Yeah,
Each individualized soul goes through in any of these
yes,
ways. Yes, correct. The opening is there.
yes.
Please drink from the divine wine shop and see the hole and go through it. Here.
Yeah, yeah. For most of humanity, there is no promise of evolution, but it is certain, according to the author, that all will experience the manifestation of Meher Baba's divinity in varying degrees. A heart full of wine for every man. People throughout the world are anticipating something great that will change the present course toward self destruction. Some are anticipating the coming of the Lord in all his glory, the return of the Christ out of the heavens, or the all merciful one, the Maitreya Buddha who comes at the time of Mahapralaya. Many things are anticipated when the Lord comes back, that soon there will be an end to this world as we know it, or that three-fourths of the world will be destroyed during a pralaya, or that Mahapralaya should take place during the last days of this cycle, or that a new creation, a new world with a new humanity will emerge. These happenings are yet to be witnessed, to be significantly understood. What is significant and real to the coming of this avataric event is that God exists and that Meher Baba is the personification of God. If you can underline the last line, I think that's
Yeah,
my.
so it's avataric advent, not event. Avataric advent. So, like I said, you're ahead of the curve. So, Mahapralaya, what you were talking about, three-fourth is all coming. You're always ahead of the curve, Ashwati.
No, 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 it's not that. This group where I have learned a lot, and I and the brainstorming and the reading has helped me a lot. So thank you, thank everybody. Speaking mythologically, Meher Baba referred to himself as the white horse avatar, foreknown as Kalki. Kalki is the Sanskrit word for horse. The horse Kalki is the one the Hindus await. Uh, if I may add, there is a white horse group in the Sufism reoriented and
It's the name
Al-
of an entity run by the Sufis, which does charities. You're right.
yes.
Yeah,
So I just remembered.
inspired by this symbology. Yeah,
Yes, yes. They also have a white horse school or whatever. Anyway, they tend to do a lot of work under the white horse name.
they have a White Horse Pony Express for kids. Then they have White Horse. Yeah, they have activities and charities with that name, under that name, but operated by Sufism reoriented.
Yes, thank you. You Kalki symbolically appears as a man leading a riderless horse. The horse is compared to the fabled winged Pegasus of Greek mythology. In the mythological beliefs of various races, the horse is the emblem of the evolutionary forces of the world. In this context, it may infer that whenever Vishnu, as the avatar, appears at an end of cycle of time, he will mount himself upon the world. This means that he is victorious over the forces of Maya or the forces of ignorance prevailing throughout the world. The avatar's victory establishes establishes him as the savior of the world, redeeming, redeeming humanity from the sanskaric forces and binding limitations of the mortal existence. Can I read that last line again, please? The avatar's victory establishes him as the savior of the world, redeeming humanity from the sanskaric forces and binding limitations of mortal existence. To the Hindus, Kalki represents the culmination of the whole of life after birth in creation, meaning the fruition of evolution, human, and the dissolving of all limitations of consciousness in the process of involution. It is said by the Hebrews and the Christians that the Messiah returns not bringing peace but a sword. In Meher Baba's language, this is a spiritual upheaval that occurs with the annihilation of unnatural sanskaras. It is also believed that the Lord's kingdom would be established. In Meher Baba's words, a new world order and new humanity. So there's a chapter in discourses. I think it's the traverse of the new world order. Is that related here, Karthik?
Yes. Yeah, that's what is being referred. Yes.
Okay. Depicting the mythological Kalki, one man leads white horse, but another man seated on the horse is invisible. This invisible rider symbolizes that during the time at the end of the cycle, man becomes more spiritual than mental. It appears inevitable that the new humanity will gradually emerge more spiritually aware. Can I read
I
this
dare
paragraph?
say it has already happened, right? I dare say it's already happened. The amount of spiritual awareness is probably highest in years, right? So a lot more people get involved in spiritual awareness. Yeah, you want to read that paragraph again, please?
If I may, I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
Depicting the mythological Kalki, one man leads a white horse, but another man seated on the horse is invisible. This invisible rider symbolizes that during that time, at the end of the cycle, man becomes more spiritual than mental. It appears inevitable that the new humanity will emerge more spiritually aware. Can perhaps highlight this paragraph. It's talking about transformation.
Sure.
The invisible rider signifies that he who pervades will come forth at his last manifestation, not as a man, but rather through man. He is the formless one, the invisible God of love, whose abode is in the human heart, transforming it into a horse for himself, the invisible rider. The avatar is both formless and with form. In both states, he is eternally connected with with the universe. The invisible rider and the man leading the horse are one and the same. The invisible rider is the one who has passed on and beyond, yet remains invisible, the Holy Ghost. I have a question here to the group. So, this question of God in human form and the invisible rider, does it refer to the God in the beyond state and the God in the beyond state? Just a question.
I think he's just using the analogy of the invisible rider to represent that of the spiritually aware human who goes through the process led by the avatar. So if you go to the this paragraph which you highlighted, that's what he says. This invisible rider symbolizes that during that time, at the end of the cycle, man becomes more spiritual than mental. It not here. I think he's Okay. This means yeah.
The next paragraph. The next paragraph.
Yeah, next one. Invisible avatar form and both of them. Invisible the man living in the house. Yeah. Invisible is the one who has passed on and beyond it remains, though invisible, the Holy Ghost. Anyway, it's just a symbology that the person writing this foreword is saying, which is Lawrence Writer. Okay.
Anyway,
So let's continue.
yeah, I'll continue. Jai Baba.
One more thing that just coming to my mind,
Sure.
the horse thing, uh, in Sanatan Dharma, the Surya, you visualize the Surya Deva, he is also riding on a horse, 7 horses. The Krishna during the Mahabharata, his picture that we see uh, was pasted on many houses is also on the horses. Uh, and there is also in Persian, in Parsi Zoroastrianism, Zoroaster religion is also horse, a symbol of good health and prosperity, a white horse. And then we also see the Mehra's love for the horse that she has. She had a white horse which was used to be put up in the Mandali hall that we see. It was actually a stable of a horse. So the horse thing, and people also say if you put the picture of the horse in your home, it brings good luck. So there is something about the horse thing that we are just reading about. Just to give it another dimension to this, what we are reading. Jai Baba.
Yeah, I was actually reading even in the Shia Muslims in the face of all that is happening in the Middle East. I was reading about their reference also to uh, a white horse and something in the future that will include a person coming on a white horse. This is Shias, not Zoroastrians. But
Yeah, yeah.
Zoroastrians, yes, they believe in that
Zoroastrian
in a
also
big
is
way.
there.
Yeah, yeah. So multiple references, and I'm sure there is a story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So when you see a horse the next time, give it a little more thought and think of all the things we said.
yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Jai
yeah.
Baba.
Actually,
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, it's actually a white horse.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful animal. I mean, no doubt about it. The white horse is such a majestic and beautiful animal, especially in movement. You can't match it. It's just gorgeous.
Yes, yes, yes.
The race horses are beautiful to watch. Yes.
Amidst all this chaos and confusion, sorry, the world now awaits the coming of its Redeemer, the perfect man. This perfect man reveals that he is rather the perfection in man. The perfection is his immortality, the immortal soul conscious of itself. The avatar's immortality releases itself through his work, his divinity, enlivening all beings and lifting some men into the perfection of his own state, the realization of God. Wow. You can underline that or the last line. I mean,
Yeah.
some may some may consider this writing revelation based upon the few points given directly to Bhau by Meher Baba, the 7 doors, which is written here. What is written here has been revealed inwardly to the author in response to his own suffering in trying to fulfill Meher Baba's instructions. Naturally, what has been written is also in response to other questions about the avatar, his work, and manifestation. Most of the particles are presented in a chronological order as the written material spans a period from 1977 up to 1984. As the pages unfold, seals break and veils tear. The author's mind tends to gauge the universal mind of the avatar and his universal activities. The author's experience in attempting to cross the limit of his own mind to reach out and embrace the avatar's universality is deeply conveyed in these articles. The author seems to have touched upon what Hafiz called the threshold of the infinite, and what is written here is that which was meant to be revealed to him of the infinite. Some articles have a glimpse of the eternal and the infinite that the author has discovered within, while others are contemporaneous and will be fully appreciated as events unfold in the world. The author expresses the author
Experiences.
experiences sorry the author experiences authors the avatars sorry the author experiences the avatar's divine work in the world and throughout the universe. This book is written with the conviction of one who is merging with his beloved. For all of us who sense what this means, there is no greater joy in all of existence. In this joy and longing to merge with the ocean god that fills these pages with light and truth, and throughout Meher Baba manifests.
So the usage that Lawrence is using here and throughout Meher Baba manifests. So in the same way, every reading session of every Saturday and Sunday between 7:30 and 9, Meher Baba awakens in us.
Yes.
Right? So that's what I was reminded of.
And if I may add, Karthik, with your permission, that Baba has said that if there are 4 or 5 people, you know, who have assembled in my name or towards my purpose, I also am part of that meeting.
Yes, sir.
That's a myth, but it's true.
No, it's not a myth. It's his line.
This
When
is
Baba says something, it is not myth.
it is true. Yes,
Yes, yes,
thank you. Uh, Dr. Gadekar had mentioned this to me. Dr. Digamba
yes,
Gadekar. Anyway,
yes, yes, yes.
the significance of his book, Avatar of the Age, Meher Baba Manifesting, invites the destiny of man with God. Involves, sorry, the significance of this book, Avatar of the Age, Meher Baba Manifesting, involves the destiny of man with God. This book is an outer reflection of the inner significance of Meher Baba's work in the eminent personal destiny of the author. This book is meaningful to all men and women who suffer in their longing to know God and who arise by the very force of that suffering to love God. In the words of Meher Baba, which should sum up the purpose of this book, that you may love God is why I have come.
Beautiful.
Yes, Lawrence, writer, July 1985. That you may love God is why I have come is is a true end to this. And thank you for introducing this book, Karthik. It's power packed.
Yes, it's a nice. I mean, we have barely started, so let's see what's in store. But
Yes.
it comes with Kama's strong recommendation, so
Oh,
I can't wait to get into the book. Yeah.
yes. Thank you, Jai Baba.
Okay. Maybe I will read Bhav's foreword, and I think we'll not get to the core of the book, but let's see if my throat tolerates the next two sections. Okay.
Yeah, and
Avtar
and my
Meher Baba
apologies
ki jai.
for the
Thank you so much
yeah, yeah.
for reading. Yeah.
My apologies for the errors. There's some errors which kept in, by oversight or by little bit of negligence.
No, no, no. Absolutely. All. everything is pardoned, and we will request Baba to pardon that.
Yes, yes.
He knows that everything other than him is imperfect. So he will, in his infinite compassion, let that pass. Okay, let me read the next section. This is the foreword written by Bhau Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Beloved God, it was 7 days before Meher Baba dropped the body. It was at Meherazad in his room at 8 o'clock in the evening on the 24th of January 1969 that Meher Baba instructed me to write about his manifestation. He was giving me instructions about his biography in specific detail. Then he told me to write the final chapter about his manifestation. He assured me he would tell me the points that I should write about. I had no idea at that time that he would drop his physical body in only a week. And when he did, I could not understand what I should write about because he had promised that he would tell me. I had faith that he would reveal to me what I should write, so I started writing his biography. For 2 years, I researched his life, interviewing those who had known him all their lives. I read countless letters and diaries. Then I began to write his life in prose. I wrote 16 to 18 hours a day continuously for several months. My pen moved by itself. When the inspiration was with me, I did not need to think. My pen would flow. I wrote his entire biography in great detail, a day by day account in 7 months. But when I came to write the last chapter on his manifestation, I found I could not write a word. I found that I had reached a vacuum in my mind, so I had to stop writing. I felt dismayed. The pen was in my outstretched hand as I tried to think about the meaning of his manifestation, but because of the vacuum in my mind, no words came. I sat there, remembering my life with him, when the pen fell from my hand and broke into two pieces on the stone floor. Immediately, I felt that Baba wanted me to stop. So I stopped. It was late in the afternoon and I could not write anything after that. I had dinner with the other men Mandali and went to bed not knowing what to do. At 9 o'clock in the evening, I was lying on my bed thinking about what I should do next. Baba had wanted me to write his biography in poetic verse in Hindi. He wanted me to use 4 meters for this poetic epic of his life. He had promised that he would give me the meters, but soon after he dropped his body. While I was lying on my bed thinking about his manifestation, suddenly he appeared before me. He wrote the meters on a chalkboard so I could remember them. So, in his own mysterious manner, Baba conveyed to me the four poetic meters. But he did not impart to me anything about the manifestation. I then had the 4 meters for the biography. So I transcribed my prose story of his life into poetic verse in Hindi. It took 3 months and 20 days. I wrote his whole life in poetry, 14,000 couplets, 28,000 lines, all in rhyme. But again, when I came to the final chapter of the biography, the manifestation, I could not write a word. I decided to come back later to the meaning of his manifestation, so I attended to the writing of other books instructed by him. The Nothing and the Everything was the most important of these. By December 1972, I was feeling exhausted from writing, but still the chapter on the manifestation was pressing on me. I decided that I would try writing it in the form of a separate book, but I did not attend to it till until later. In 1973, I was accepted into the Avatar Meher Baba Perpetual Public Charitable Trust as a trustee. As a result of the pressures of the trust's work for which I became responsible, I could not find time to continue writing. As the years passed, it was not until 1977 that I began to realize that I had not fulfilled my writing work for Baba. I still felt that I had to write about his manifestation. It has taken several years to complete the writing of this book. Some articles were inspired by people's questions, and some were revealed inwardly. Beloved, God is ever manifest, but it is the veil of our ignorance which blinds us from seeing the glory of his face. Beloved, God has come down to our human level as the avatar to lift this veil. He works and suffers for humanity, making it possible for each of us to witness his manifestation. He alone knows how much he has worked to thin the veil of our ignorance. But as a result of his work, humanity witnesses his manifestation now after he has physically departed. Let us prepare ourselves for his manifestation. He has come to manifest his divinity. Beloved God came down on earth for this purpose, and he is now preparing the world for his manifestation. Meher Baba is awakening humanity so all the world may bear witness to his manifestation as God and shed tears in his love that will turn into cups of wine. Bhau Kalchuri. So, just reminding everybody that this book was published in 1985. Lord Meher was completed in 1972, but this was intended to be the last chapter of Lord Meher. Just okay. This is again from Bhau to my beloved. Beloved Baba, I cannot forget the night of the 24th of January 1969 when you gave me instructions to write your biography and you asked me to write a chapter about your manifestation. You gestured that you will reveal to me the meaning of your manifestation and that I should not worry about it. You were in great pain at that time. You were sacrificing your physical body in love and worship of the universe. A little movement of your fingers would give you a spasm and your body would lift up off the bed. You felt as if your back were breaking. I witnessed with my own eyes that you were crushing every bone of your body into pieces in order to give the last sacrifice of your love to the world. The body which you took for your universal work, you are giving to the world as a sacrifice at the end of the completion of your divine work. You are having spasm after spasm while giving me instructions about the biography. I could not ask you anything, thinking that you would tell me when you felt better. But a week later, you dropped your body after completing your seclusion work on the 30th of January, and I did not have the opportunity to understand from you about your manifestation. But as you did explain to me about the book, The Nothing and the Everything, and the meters used for writing your biography in verse, so I believe you have also explained to me concerning your manifestation. This I present to your lovers who treasure your love more than anything. Bhau Kalchuri. So we will read the last declaration and then maybe take up the first chapter from next in the next week. So I given I jump to the photograph and there's Baba's for image, we'll see that first. So there is Bhau, Irach, and Gustadji. This is that Guru Prasad, 1957. So let's read the last declaration. I will not pause. I will just continuously read it. And then we can pick up the chapter from the next week. Yeah. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Meher Baba's final declaration. I have come not to establish anything new. I have come to put life into the old. I have not come to establish retreats or ashrams. I create them for the purpose of my universal work, only to repeatedly dissolve them once that purpose has been served. The universe is my ashram, and every heart is my house. But I manifest only in those hearts in which all other than me ceases to live. When my universal religion of love is on the verge of fading into insignificance, I come to breathe life into it and to do away with the farce of dogmas that defile it in the name of religions and stifle it with ceremonies and rituals. The present universal confusion and unrest has filled the heart of man with greater lust for power and a greed for wealth and fame, bringing in its wake untold misery, hatred, jealousy, frustration, and fear. Suffering in the world is at its height, in spite of all the striving to spread peace and prosperity to bring about lasting happiness. For man to have a glimpse of lasting happiness, he has first to realize that God, being in all, knows all, that God alone acts and reacts through all, that God, in the guise of countless animate and inanimate entities, experiences the innumerably varied phenomena of suffering and happiness, and that God Himself undergoes all these illusory happenings. Thus, it is God who has brought suffering in human experience to its height, and God alone who will efface this illusory suffering and bring the illusory happiness to its height. Whether it manifests as creation or disappears into the oneness of reality, whether it is experienced as existing as real or is perceived to be false and non existent, illusion throughout is illusion. There is no end to it, just as there is no end to imagination. There are two aspects experienced in illusion: manyness and oneness. While manyness multiplies manyness, oneness goes on magnifying itself. Manyness is the religion of illusion on which illusion thrives. In the illusory beginning of time, there was no such state of mess in illusion as there is today. When the evolution of consciousness began, there was oneness in spite of the diversity in illusion. With the growth of consciousness, manyness also went on increasing. Until now, it is about to overlap the limit. Like the wave that reaches its crest, the height of manyness will dissolve itself and bring about the beginning of oneness in illusion. Suffering at its height will cause destruction of this climax of manyness in illusion. The time has come for the preordained destruction of multiple separateness, which keeps man from experiencing the feeling of unity and brotherhood. This destruction, which will take place very soon, will cause three-fourths of the world to be destroyed. The remaining one-fourth will be brought together to live a life of concord and mutual understanding, thus establishing a feeling of oneness in all fellow beings, leading them toward lasting happiness. Before I break my silence, or immediately after it, three-fourths of the world will be destroyed. I shall speak soon to fulfill all that is shortly to come to pass. To affirm religious faiths, to establish societies, or to hold conferences will never bring about the feeling of unity and oneness in the life of mankind, now completely absorbed in the manyness of illusion. Unity in the midst of diversity can be made to be felt only by touching the very core of the heart. That is the work for which I have come. I have come to sow the seed of love in your hearts so that in spite of all superficial diversity which your life in illusion must experience and endure, the feeling of oneness through love is brought about amongst all the nations, creeds, sects, and castes of the world. In order to bring this about, I am preparing to break my silence. When I break my silence, it will not be to fill your ears with spiritual lectures. I shall speak only one word, and this word will penetrate the hearts of all men and make even the sinner feel that he is meant to be a saint, while the saint will know that God is in the sinner as much as he is in himself. When I speak that word, I shall lay the foundation for that which is to take place during the next 700 years. When I come again after 700 years, the evolution of consciousness will have reached such an apex that materialistic tendencies will be automatically transmuted into spiritual longing, and the feeling of equality in spiritual brotherhood will prevail. This means that opulence and poverty, literacy and illiteracy, jealousy and hatred, which are in evidence today in their full measure, will then be dissolved through the feeling of oneness among all men. Prosperity and happiness will then be at their zenith. This does not mean that oneness in illusion shall remain so eternally. That is because all this that is illusion, and the consciousness of oneness as well as manyness in illusion is part of the process of evolution. The time is bound to recur when there will be again the same beginning, growth, and culmination of the heights of manyness and oneness in illusion. My next advent, after I drop this body, will be after 700 years, and that will mark the end and beginning of a cycle of cycles. All cycles of time in illusion end and begin after 700 to 1400 years. And there have been and will be millions and billions of such cycles in a cycle of cycles. Thus, there is no end to illusion, which always remains illusion. Age after age, I come amidst mankind to maintain my own creation of illusion, thereby also awakening humanity to become aware of it. The framework of illusion is always one and the same, but the designs in illusion are innumerable and ever changing. My advent is not to destroy illusion, because illusion, as it is absolutely nothing. I come to make you become aware of the nothingness of illusion. Through you, I automatically maintain illusion, which is nothing but the shadow of my infinite self. And through me, you automatically discard illusion when you are made aware of its falseness. My manifestation as the avatar of the age will be of short duration. This short period will, in quick succession, cover my humiliation, the breaking of my silence, my glorification, and my violent physical end. Everlastingly, with all the divine bliss within me, I eternally suffer for one and all. Thus, I am crucified eternally and continually for all. During this short period, my word of words will touch the hearts of all mankind, and spontaneously, this divine touch will instill in man the feeling of oneness of all fellow beings. Gradually, in the course of the next 700 years, this feeling will supersede the tendency of separateness and rule over the hearts of all. driving away hatred, jealousy, and greed that breed suffering, and happiness will reign. This message was given in Mehrabad, India on the 30th of September 1954. Amazing, right? It was just very, very
Um,
profound.
absolutely. Karthik, I have one question.
Sure.
This short period will in succession cover my humiliation, the breaking of my silence, my glorification, and my violent physical end. So, is this a reference to a new world order, one more new world order, where he breaks his silence and my violent physical end? How can that be? I mean, it's very futuristic, but everlasting with all the divine bliss within me. I eternally suffer for one and all. Thus, I am crucified eternally and continually for all. So, there is this element of crucifixion when in the last days, yeah, he was going through a lot of physical pain. So,
Not only last day, started right from 1952, even before the first accident. There was periods of intense fasting. Even that is was like that, intense work, seclusion work, and universal work that Baba was doing. It is
correct.
not just the last date. Baba suffered all his life, actually, more or less, through fasting. Number one, and universal work used to drain
Be very
his
draining.
whenever he used to come out, he used to be very exhausted. So that's there. Yeah.
Yeah, correct for pointing out. I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah. All is facts. Yeah. But many of these things are, I think, code worded actually. So it's very
Yes,
difficult
that's
to
what I was going to
decipher the.
say.
Yeah.
You cannot take anything
Yeah.
in this message
Yes.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, if,
and
if if you listen
we
to
will
Dr.
figure out.
Barucha's
Yes,
recordings, he has talked
yes,
of the Bombay will be destroyed and this and that and all that. But I think these are very code worded. These are these are not very difficult
literal.
for us to kind of comprehend and be sure about them. Yeah, because
And
all these
Baba
periods
himself
are
has
also
said that.
in his time zones. Not
Exactly.
yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Baba.
So, in other words, Baba has said that many of these things are in his language, and some of these things are in our language. So, don't take anything literally, but all of this will play out. And at that time, we will piece it together and understand it.
So the reference to time may be many several hundred years. It's not just one
No,
life. It,
no,
it,
no,
it,
no,
it,
Correct.
no. Once you say short duration, what do we mean by short duration in the previous paragraph? It is 1 day, 1 month. It could be 100 years. That's short
it is
duration.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Very relative.
let I mean, I think there's no point deciphering this. We get to realize it when it happens.
As it happens.
It
That's it.
it is for the post facto analysis actually. When all this will happen after 500, 600 years, people will read this and say this is what was said. Yeah. Jai Baba.
And at that time, everything will fall perfectly in place. But right now, we are just reading it as mere words and trying to speculate because nothing else we are doing. We are speculating. I think as this unfolds, we will be able to see that this was the jigsaw puzzle that was already described. The clues were already there. Clues were defined, right? So we'll see that. Okay, I think I got to run. I have a hard
Yeah.
stop, but I'm already past that time. But a very nice session this morning. I hope all of you enjoyed as much as I did. And let's connect back and um, pick it up from here next week.
Jai
Yeah.
Baba, Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Jai Baba,
J-
Jai
Jai Baba.
Baba, Jai Baba,
Excellent. Excellent. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.